Dear students, this video is in continuation with the previous video on alternating current, and we will also solve some numerical problems based on them. So let us begin with the first topic. We have learnt about alternating current and voltage. Let's see how it behaves when it passes through a pure resistor. So here we have AC source connected to resistance R, and then you see the applied voltage is V naught sine omega t, and current, you know that current is voltage upon resistance. So current in this resistance is divided by R. You will get V naught upon R as peak current I naught. So current is I naught sine omega t, right? And if you look at this angle part, sine part, sine omega t, that means they both are in same state of vibration, or we can say that AC voltage and current are in same phase through a resistance. And see, we have already done it. Look at it. Let us look at their variation. See, the current and voltage are getting maximum and minimum and zero together. So we say that they are in the same phase or same state of vibration all the time. So let us talk about phasor diagram. You know that current and voltage, they both are scalar quantities, but here we can treat the current and voltage as vectors or as rotating vectors and along with their phase relationships. So we are going to represent current and voltage as vectors and their phase relationship. So let us have a look at current and voltage through a resistance. So see, in a resistance, the AC voltage and current are in same phase, so they are shown along the same direction. See, if at t is equal to 0, the position is here, then after time t, the position gets this one, and the angular displacement is omega t. So at t is equal to 0, if the voltage was along this direction, current was along this direction, after time t, it suffers an angular displacement of omega t, and the new position is along this direction. Okay. Now, what happens if the alternating current passes through a pure inductor? So here we have AC source passing through pure inductor. So let us have a look. See. See, when this variable source passes through inductor, an EMF, back EMF or induced EMF will be set up into it, right? Because the flux through this is going to change. So you know that the induced EMF in inductor is given by minus L di by dt. Now, in this closed loop, we have two voltages. One is this AC voltage and the other one is induced EMF. And using Kirchhoff's rule, the net potential drops in a closed loop is 0. So that means the applied voltage and induced EMF, their sum must be equal to 0. And using this idea, we can write this V plus E is equal to 0, or V is equal to minus E, and that makes it minus L di by dt will give you L di by dt. From here, keep di on one side and take other, this L and dt on the other side. So you get V upon L into dt. Now we want to find out relation for current. So for that, integrate both sides and then you will get I is equal to. Now when you integrate it, see L is constant, so L is taken outside, and in place of V, put the value of V, which is V naught sine omega t. Now V naught is peak voltage, so this is also constant, so take it out. Now inside integration, we have sine omega t dt. Now from here, this I is equal to V naught upon L into. Now integration of sine omega t is minus cos omega t, and from this omega t you will get this upon omega, right? And this omega is also constant, so take this omega outside. So now you are left with V naught upon omega L. Okay. And now this minus cos omega t can be written as sine omega t minus pi by 2, right? And now this omega L is represented by XL, which is called inductive reactance. And if you look at its dimensions, then this is voltage, this left side is current, right side is voltage, then voltage upon resistance must come. So this omega L must have dimensions of a resistance. Its SI unit should be ohm, right? So now this current becomes, the instantaneous value of current will be I naught. Now what is I naught? This peak voltage upon this inductive reactance, which is like a resistance. This becomes peak current I naught and sine omega t minus pi by 2. So now okay. So if you compare this applied voltage and the AC current in the circuit, then you can see that sine omega t is the, see, V is equal to V naught sine omega t. And here you have I is equal to I naught sine omega t minus pi by 2. So current is behind this voltage by this angle pi by 2. You can see that we are getting this minus. So here you have sine omega t, here you have sine omega t minus pi by 2. So current is behind the voltage by pi by 2. The phase difference is pi by 2. We can say that current lags behind voltage by pi by 2 radian, or voltage leads the current by pi by 2 radian. And let us look at the phasor diagram now. Here, look at it. If the voltage is represented by this vector, and see, okay, if the position at t is equal to 0 is this, then at t is equal time t, voltage is along this direction with angular displacement omega t, then current will be behind it. You see, current is 90 degree behind it. We are moving anti-clockwise like this. Okay, and in this situation you can see that the current is shown by this relation. Okay, so t is equal to 0 and t is equal to t. And now graphical variation of V and I, voltage and current through L. You can see the graphical variation now. Okay. See, first the voltage comes and then current starts. So current is behind it. And you see, so if you look at these two relations, so when t is equal to 0, the voltage is 0, and when this t is equal to 0, then sine minus pi by 2 will give you minus 1. That means the current will be equal to minus I naught. So here it is minus I naught. And here, when this at pi by 2, when this becomes maximum, then omega t pi by 2 minus pi by 2 becomes 0. So I is equal to 0, as you can see. So when this becomes maximum, this is 0. And when voltage becomes 0, current becomes maximum. So there is a difference of pi by 2 always. First voltage becomes maximum, then after some time current becomes maximum. So current is following it all the time. Okay, very important information, you must remember it. Now, how do we define inductive reactance? So inductive reactance of an inductor is the opposition offered to flow of alternating current through it. And as I told you, this has a unit of resistance. Its SI unit is ohm. It behaves like resistance in an AC circuit. Now for DC circuit, the frequency omega is 0. So inductive reactance for DC is 0. Or in DC circuit, the resistance offered to flow of DC is 0. Look at this variation. You can see that. From here, see this, XL is proportional to omega frequency. So when this frequency increases, XL also increases linearly. Look at this variation. See, on this x-axis we have shown omega or nu, angular frequency or frequency, and on y-axis we have shown XL. So that is variation of inductance or inductive reactance with frequency. And now see how a capacitor behaves with alternating current. So here capacitor is connected to an AC source. The applied voltage is V is equal to V naught sine omega t, and you know that current I is rate of flow of charges, so dq by dt, and q is equal to cv. So in place of q I have placed cv, and capacitance C is constant, so it is taken out. So C dV by dt, and now in place of V we have, look at it, in place of V I have placed V naught sine omega t, and this V naught is constant, so it can be taken out. So I is equal to Cv naught d by dt of sine omega t. So for differentiation only sine omega t is left. So you get Cv naught, and differentiation of sine omega t is cos omega t, and then you have to differentiate this omega t also. So d by dt of omega t. And from here, when you differentiate omega t, you will get only omega. So you will get omega Cv naught cos omega t. Now I can write this as V naught upon 1 upon omega c. This thing can be written as V naught upon 1 upon omega c cos omega t. And look at it. The current I is written this way. And if you look at dimensions, left side is current and right side you have voltage here. Then this 1 upon omega c must behave like a resistance. Now this 1 upon omega c is called capacitive reactance, and its SI unit is ohm. So I can write it as V naught upon Xc, and now cos omega t is converted to a sine function. Let's see how it is converted. cos omega t can be written as sine omega t plus pi by 2, right? And this term V naught is peak voltage upon this resistance, then you will get peak current. So now the current through capacitor becomes I is equal to I naught sine omega t plus pi by 2. So now we are in a state where we can compare the current and voltage. So here the voltage is V naught sine omega t, current is I naught sine omega t plus pi by 2. Now just compare the argument of sine function. You can see that current is ahead of voltage by pi by 2. So here current is leading, voltage is lagging behind. So here the current leads the voltage by pi by 2 radian. And now you can look at the variation, graphical variation. So we are showing this graphical variation. See, here the current is ahead of voltage. Look at it. Initially, when omega t is 0, when this omega t is 0, V is 0, and when this omega t is 0, sine pi by 2 is 1 maximum, so current is maximum. After some time, when current becomes 0, voltage becomes maximum. So voltage is following the current all the time. And then let us look at its phasor diagram also here. Look at it. So angle omega t and current is ahead by pi by 2. Look at this once again. Here. Look at it. This is voltage V naught sine omega t as shown here, and current is ahead of it by this angle 90 degree. This is current. And we take anti-clockwise rotation here. So it is phasor diagram, and this is wave variation. And let's see capacitive reactance. Now, how do we define it? It is the opposition offered to flow of AC alternating current through a capacitor, and it is given by Xc is equal to 1 upon omega c. SI unit is ohm. Now in DC circuit, this angular frequency or frequency is 0, so capacitive reactance is infinite. So for a DC source, the reactance is infinite means capacitance allows AC to pass through it, but it blocks DC. So capacitance blocks DC. If it is connected to an AC source like a battery, then after initial charging, the flow of current through it is stopped. So very important outcome. You must understand it. And let us look at this variation. So if you look at this relation, this Xc is inversely proportional to frequency. So when this frequency increases, this Xc decreases and vice versa. So this is the variation here. So now let us take the combinations of these different components. So AC circuit with only L and R in series combination. We are considering series combination. So applied voltage is V naught sine omega t, and if the voltage across R is VR and across L is VL, then see what we get. In resistance, current and voltage will be in the same phase, and look at it. In resistance, current and voltage will be in same phase, and in inductor, voltage leads the current by pi by 2. So look at it, VL is ahead of I. So if this x-axis shows current I, then voltage across resistance will be in same phase, but voltage across inductor will be ahead of it by pi by 2. And now we have two voltages, VL and VR, and we have to find out their vector sum. So now the vector sum of VL and VR, this gives the net EMF in the circuit or net voltage in the circuit. So that is represented by this. And if the angle between say current and voltage is phi, then that will be the net phase difference between the net voltage and current in the circuit. So here the net voltage in the circuit will be under root VR square plus VL square, see Pythagoras theorem, and VR is IR square, VL is IXL square, and take current outside. So you get V is equal to I under root X square R square plus XL square, and from here you can see that this whole term is behaving like a resistance. So this resistance in AC circuit is represented by Z, and it is called impedance. So resistance in AC circuit is called impedance. So Z is called impedance. Its SI unit is ohm. We can compare the dimensions. And now the relation for this impedance is under root R square plus XL square, and the phase difference between current and voltage. This is current, this is voltage, the phase difference between them is phi. So tangent phi will be this upon this, and it is equal to VL. So tan phi is VL upon VR. The value of VL is IXL, VR is IR, I cancelled out. Now XL is omega L upon R. So in this case, the voltage is ahead of current. So voltage is leading the current by this angle phi. So phase difference between current and voltage. Let's see what happens when we have RC circuit in series combination, and here you can see, look at it. We are going to give it similar treatment. So you have this is applied voltage V0 sin omega t. The voltage across R is VR, across C is VC, and you know that current and voltage through this resistance will be in same phase, and here the current will be leading the voltage. So let's see, in R the current and voltage are in same phase, and in C the voltage lags behind by pi by 2. So you can say that. And now see, voltage and current in resistance, and for capacitor the voltage is lagging behind by pi by 2, and now vector sum of VR and VC will be along this direction. This is the net EMF or net AC voltage in the circuit, and this is the phase difference between current and voltage in the circuit. So again using Pythagoras theorem, so V is equal to under root VR square plus VC square. Put the value of VR and VC and take current outside, or inside under root you will get R square plus XC square. Now this quantity inside the under root behaves like resistance, and its name is impedance. So this Z is called impedance. Its SI unit is ohm, and the relation for this Z is under root R square plus XC square, and the phase difference between current and voltage from here will be given by tan phi. Now 10 phi is, if you look at this phi, 10 phi will be this side upon this side, and it is equal to Vc. So it is Vc upon Vr. Now Vc is Ixc, Vr is Ir, cancel out I, you get 1 upon omega c upon R. And in this case, voltage lags behind current by phi. Now, what happens with when L, C, R, all three are connected in series combination? So here L, C, R are connected in series combination, and look at it. Applied voltage V0 sin omega t, and the voltages across L is VL, VC and VR. Now in R, resistance V and I are in same phase. In inductor, V leads current by pi by 2. In capacitor, voltage lags behind current by pi by 2. So look at it. Look at the situation. See, current. So this is current and the voltage of see, look at it. Yeah, the current and voltage across resistance are in the same direction, same phase. The voltage across the inductor is ahead by pi by 2. The voltage across capacitor is behind it by pi by 2. And now you can see that VL and VC are in opposite directions. And if VL is greater than VC, then we will get VL minus VC along this direction. And then we can take resultant of this VL minus VC and VR. So let's see how we get it. So here you get VL minus VC along this direction. This side is VL minus VC, and the resultant vector, that resultant vector is what? Net EMF in the circuit. This is the net EMF in the circuit is along this direction, making angle phi with current. So again, using Pythagoras theorem, we can find out relation for it. You can see here, the net V will be equal to under root VR square plus VL minus VC square. Now put the value of VR, which is IR, value of VL is IXL, value of VC is IXC, and take current outside the under root. Now inside the under root, you will be left with R square plus XL minus XC square. Now if VL is lesser than VC, then you will get VC minus VL, but you will get the same relation as you are squaring. Now the quantity inside the under root is behaving like resistance, and this is called impedance. So this Z is called impedance. Its SI unit is ohm, and its relation is this one. See, this resistance is always there. Now this XL minus XC is the resultant in reactance in the circuit, and its square, and phase difference between current and voltage. See, 10 phi is equal to VL minus VC upon VR, and putting the values, you get IXL minus IXC upon IR, and cancel out current, you will get XL minus XC upon R. So if VL is larger than VC, then phi will be positive, voltage will lead. If VL is lesser than VC, then this phi will be negative and voltage will lag behind. Now let us look at some problems. So the first problem, it's a conceptual problem, very important, often asked in board. A bulb is connected to an AC source along with an inductor in series. How will the brightness of bulb change when an iron rod is inserted in the inductor? So here I have a bulb of resistance R and inductor L. And when an iron rod is inserted inside it, clearly the permeability of core will increase. So this inductor or inductance will increase. So let's see how we treat it. When iron rod is inserted inside an inductor, its inductance will increase. Why? You know this relation. L is mu m, that is permeability of core, n square Al. So this mu m is more for iron, so L increases. So if L increases, the reactance of inductor omega L will increase. So when the reactance increases, the impedance in circuit under root R square plus XL square will also increase. Now if the impedance increases, then what? The current in the circuit is voltage upon net impedance. So the current will decrease, and when the current decreases, the power dissipated across the resistance or across the bulb is I square R. So current decreasing means power dissipated by it is decreased. That means the brightness of bulb will decrease. Similar problem with a capacitor. Look at it. A bulb is connected to AC source along with a capacitor in series. How will the brightness of bulb change when a dielectric slab is inserted between plates of a capacitor? So this is a bulb, this is a capacitor, and when a dielectric slab is filled between the plates, then its capacitance will increase. So let's see what happens. So when a dielectric slab is inserted between plates of capacitor, its capacitance increases. You know this relation, C is equal to Kc naught. So its reactance is 1 upon omega C. The reactance will decrease, and the impedance is under root R square plus Xc square. So the reactance will also, or impedance will also decrease, and then current I V upon Z will increase. So when the current increases, the power dissipated across it I square R will also increase. So that means the brightness of bulb will increase. So such conceptual problems are often asked. There can be variations like change of frequency or any other variation. And here a very important problem from board examination, a very good problem. A resistance of 100 ohm and a capacitance of 100 upon pi microfarad are connected in series to a 220 volt 50 Hz AC supply. Calculate the current in the circuit. First part. Then we'll come to the second part. So let us come to the first part. Now to find the current in the circuit, first thing first, we must know its impedance. So reactance of capacitance is 1 upon omega C, that is 1 upon omega. The value of frequency is given to be 50 Hz, and you know that omega is 2 pi nu. So in place of omega, you know that omega is 2 pi nu, and this nu is given to be 50. So 2 pi into 50 into the value of C is 100 upon pi, 100 upon pi and microfarad. So the value of micro is 10 raised to the power minus 6. And simplifying it, you can cancel out this pi and pi. Simplify, you get 100 ohm. So reactance of capacitor is 100 ohm and the resistance is given to be 100 ohm. So the impedance is under root R square plus Xc square, that is under root 100 square plus 100 square, or 100 root 2 ohm. You can put the value of root 2 and multiply also. Now you have to find out the current in the circuit. So let me find out the RMS current, that is Vrms upon Z, and Vrms is given to be 220 volt. So 220 volt upon 100 root 2 or 1.1 into root 2, multiply, simplify, you get 1.55 ampere. And if you have to find out peak current, then peak current is peak voltage upon Z, and peak voltage will be RMS voltage root 2 upon current upon impedance 100 root 2, that is 2.2 ampere. So you can see that peak current is much higher than the RMS current. Now comes the second part. Calculate the RMS voltage across the resistor and capacitor. Do you find the algebraic sum of these voltages more than the source voltage? If yes, how do you resolve the paradox? See, this is board question, and such questions are often asked. So let us look at the second part of it. RMS voltage across resistor, that is IRMS into R, and that is 1.1 in root 2 into 100, 155 volt. RMS voltage across capacitor, IRMS into XC, multiply, you get 155 volt. They both are equal, and algebraic sum is 310 volt. Now this 310 volt, the sum of voltages across resistance and voltage is greater than the supply voltage of 220 volt. Now why is it this happening? This happens because the phase difference between VR and VC is 90 degree. If they are in same phase, algebraic sum will be same as vector sum. But as the phase difference is pi by 2, the supply voltage will be under root VR square plus VC square. So we can say that the net voltage or supply voltage is given by the vector sum of VR and VC. Let us move to next problem. Again, very interesting problem and a board problem. So here, determine the value of phase difference between current and voltage in the given LCR circuit. So you look at it. Here we have a source V0 sine 1000 t plus phi. That means the value of omega is given. R 400 ohm, C is 2 microfarad, and L is 100 millihenry. Right? So first look at, let us do the first part, and here. So the omega is given to be 1000 radian per second. Look at this relation. So reactance will be, reactance of capacitor is 1 upon omega C. Omega is 1000, C is 2 into 10 to the power minus 6, and simplify, you get 500 ohm. And then we will find out reactance of inductor. So reactance of inductor, XL is omega L. Put the value of omega, and L is 100 millihenry. 100 and milli is 10 to the power minus 3. Simplify it, you get 100 ohm. So now you have got XC and XL both. The phase difference between current and voltage is given by XC minus XL upon R, and 500 minus 400 is 400. R is given to be 400 ohm. So this is equal to 1. So from here this phi is equal to 1. So phi is equal to pi by 4, and here current is leading voltage by pi by 4. You see that XC is more. XC is more means reactive voltage across capacitance is lagging behind. That means here the current is leading and voltage is lagging by pi by 4. And now let us move on to the second part. Now, very important. Calculate the value of additional capacitor which may be joined suitably with capacitor C so that it would make the power factor of circuit unity. Now, power factor of circuit is unity, means XL and XC. When we say power factor of circuit is unity, that means phi is equal to 0 and XL is equal to XC. So XL is equal to XC means it has to be 100 ohm. So new XC, new reactance of capacitor should be 1 upon omega C1, that should be equal to 100 ohm. From here, take C1 on one side and simplify it. You get 10 to the power minus 5 farad, or it should be equal to 10 microfarad. That means the new capacitance should be 10 microfarad and we already have 2 microfarad, right? So that means the remaining 8 microfarad must be connected in parallel with the given capacitor to make the power factor unity. With this, we come to the end of this video and I hope this is useful to you. Thank you for watching.